Welcome to Subramani. Should you be investing in emerging markets now? Was one of the questions which somebody asked me. So I reached out to a friend who manages emerging market funds sitting in the US. So he said something very relevant. He says, when you are sitting in India, you see FII withdrawal from India. Actually, it is FII withdrawal from emerging markets. It's not FII withdrawal from India alone. The emerging markets seem to be far more resilient. He was talking about how the emerging markets have managed their economies better. He was talking of UK versus Brazil. Brazil has increased its interest rate many times in the last. It started in I think sometime mid 2021 when they started increasing the interest rates, and they have contained inflation much better than the developed markets. But whenever there is uncertainty in the world, there is this flight to safety, and a lot of money moves to the US, right? But along with this, you should also see in the last couple of months, the central banks have bought tons of gold. So is it a thing that they think gold is going to go up, or is it a thing that they think that the dollar is going to go down faster than gold? So is this, I think, the place between gold and US dollar. So if more and more people are losing confidence or not wanting to hold too much of their money in US dollar, which could be China, Brazil and Japan, not that Brazil has too much money, or even India and other countries, if we all decide to hold less of the US dollar and start doing trades in non-dollar terms, then there is a higher risk in the so-called flight to safety, right? Are you safe in the US or are you not? So are you better off buying in other countries? So these are the things. So one is these countries themselves becoming attractive because of the large buybacks and dividends which they give. So if you want to invest in a Taiwan or a Korea, the market looks far more attractive than the US. Countries like Mexico have handled their debt better than countries like UK, and none of the developing countries went and so aggressively supported their currency and blew up whatever money they had. So UK is really in bad shape, and so you don't want to invest in Europe because Europe you don't know where it is going. US markets seem to be headed for a recession, though there are enough people like even Taleb and Thaler are saying that we don't see any signs of a recession. So I'm not very sure whether there is a recession. The lot of numbers look good, but you're getting better deals today in the emerging markets, including India, than you are getting in the UK. So will we see a reversal of flows from the developed markets to the developing markets? I would look at it this way: the surging US dollar is perhaps a great indicator that maybe you should get rid of the dollar rather than buy the dollar. So I would rather shift from the developed markets, including UK and US, to the developing markets which are giving better dividend yield and which are giving good buyback opportunities, right? So those are enough reasons. COVID is not going to really disappear from China, but in spite of that, the emerging market economy seem to be doing better, showing more resilience than the developed countries. Like the developing countries, if you take or rather the developed countries like US, there the only industry which seems to be doing well is the arms and armaments, right? So if that is doing well, it means I don't think anybody wants an end to the Ukraine war. So maybe all this is relevant, but the question is, would you shift to the emerging markets now? And I think the answer is yes, you should, at least as an SIP. Is it possible to do so now? I think some relaxation might happen, but I don't think the full relaxation like it used to happen earlier, which was totally unlimited, is not going to happen. So I see a couple of mutual funds now saying, okay, we are going to allow SIP investments, but I don't think RBI has made any change in its overall cap of $7 billion. So if some redemptions are happening, people are investing fresh money. Otherwise, you can use the RBI LRS scheme and invest maybe in emerging markets. Policies in the emerging markets have been much better. They have handled inflation much better. They increased interest rates much better. They never saw zero and negative interest rates that was restricted to UK, Europe and US. At least I don't think I'm not sure whether US went into negative, but definitely Germany and UK and all went into negative. We did not see anything like this happening in the emerging markets. So emerging markets are resilient, more consistent in their policies, have handled inflation better. There is no reason why money will not come back to the emerging markets from the same markets in the US, because this is the money which had gone there and that is likely to come back. It's anyway a cycle, and there are much better growth opportunities here. The only industries which are growing in US seem to be armaments and nothing else. Maybe banking, financial services, credit card. When credit card companies grow, I do not know whether it is good for the economy or bad, because it means more and more people are using credit cards, and the interest payment is also being made. They are not using the credit card just as an aggregator. They are using it to charge thing because they don't have money to pay. So I don't know whether that is a good thing or a bad thing, but that is also happening. So considering all this, I think putting more money in emerging markets makes more sense. So I do think there are good opportunities available in the emerging markets. You are supported by big dividends and decent buybacks. We also think, at least I personally feel, that the American and the European, I can't see why money should be invested in Europe. It's been a long time, it's not been doing well. You can take a contrarian approach with a very small percentage of your portfolio. But the bigger investments have to be in the emerging markets, where there are a lot of opportunities, growth and possibility that the money will come back from the developed markets, including US and Europe and perhaps even Japan. But even the Japanese market might be doing well. But yes, I think there are better opportunities today in the in the emerging markets. Of course, there is always risk in investing in foreign markets. Things can go wrong. All those risks are there, but the risks in the developed markets seem to be much greater than the risk in the emerging markets. That's my view. Thank you.